Hello, friends and family. Today I want to talk about why wasn't there a celebration when I finished chemo? I'm Jen, and today and every day we talk about my quest to crush aggressive diffuse large B-cell lymphoma, DLBCL, stage 4, and we're using the R-EPOCH immunotherapy chemotherapy to crush non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Thank you so much for joining me on the journey today. So, my topic today is why didn't we have a party, a celebration, a cake, a cookie, a bell ringing, some type of celebration to say, okay, you're done. And why don't I say I'm done? Okay, so what I did notice in the last couple of videos is I occasionally speak in the past tense, but I haven't come out and said, okay, I'm done. And so I thought it would be worth having this conversation. And I think we've kind of inferred this conversation before, but I wanted to have it explicitly with you guys. So let's go down the list. I've had 6. The plan was to have 6 treatments of R-EPOCH, 6 cycles. Check, right? Number 2, remove the PICC line. So yesterday we removed the PICC line, right? Look, I don't even have a bandage on today. You can still see, and it does hurt a little bit, but it's not like crazy pain. Last one. Your blood work looks promising. Check. So I've finished the 6 cycles. They've removed the main mechanism for giving me chemo, the PICC line, and my blood work looks incredibly promising. And given this is blood cancer, that seems like a good sign. So why, for all those facts, am I not saying, okay, I'm done? I kicked cancer to the curb, just like I said I was going to. Well, I think you guys know. But let me go through my reasons. So my number 1 reason why I'm not saying that is my noodle. So if I believe I'm done, in my heart of hearts, in my noodle, everywhere else, if I celebrate with y'all and say, I'm done, yay! Then it will be difficult, very difficult, for me to keep fighting in the event that we are wrong. Right? Because I've already adjusted my brain and everything else, my whole being, into you did it, you won, you're done, right? And if I'm not truly done, then I will have a more difficult time in the coming days and weeks and months. So that's my number 1 reason for not going there. My number 2 reason, you're not done until you're done. And in my case, I'm not done until the scan shows that there are no areas in my body that are lighting up. And we have to wait, which we know, until the end of May and possibly into June, and the reason I'm saying possibly into June is because of the vaccine. So I'm going to talk about this a little later. I did try and reschedule my vaccine today, and I didn't have any luck. I only tried online, so I might try and call them on the phone to see if there's any way for me to get it any earlier than next Sunday. But next Sunday already puts us into May, and there is some anecdotal and some other documentation that shows that the PET scan might be skewed by my body's reaction to the vaccine. Like lymph nodes could inflame and other inflammatory responses that are to the vaccine, but like medically we don't have any way to prove that, right? So then you have to assume that it's cancer and treat it like cancer and do biopsies and do all the things that you have to do. Therefore, I'll notify my doc whatever day I take the vaccine, and he'll make a decision about how long we have to wait until the PET scan so that the results are not skewed by the vaccine results, if that makes any sense to everyone. So right now the plan is scan at the end of May, because I finished my treatments, as you know. My last treatment was 11 days ago. My hopefully last treatment was 11 days ago. So he indicated that he wanted to wait until the end of May to get a picture. Make sure that the last set of chemo had its chance to work, and so forth and so on. Okay, so my last reason, those are 2 reasons. My third reason for not celebrating and not assuming I'm done is I think I had a video on this, so I will link it up above. I'll just have to go find it. Was lymphoma has a fairly high, what they call refractory or relapsing rate. So refractory means it looks like everything's going great. You're in treatment. Before you finish your treatment, you're tested, and oops, you still have it, right? So that's refractory. And it has a pretty high rate. And then beyond that, I could get this next PET scan to be A-okay, but in 3 months, 6 months, a year, I could have lymphoma again, relapse. So, and actually I think I shared with you in that other video, which I'm sharing above here, that the relapse for lymphoma actually continues on for a longer period than most other cancers. So like when I had ovarian cancer, at the 2-year mark, he was like, unlikely. And at 5 years, he was like, you're done. You're never going to get this again. Like that, like statistically, there's just no way you can get this again. But with lymphoma, as you go on, it gets higher. It actually, the numbers don't come down. So just numbers wise, I think I would be foolish to assume that I'm good. And therefore, and so that is the third reason why I'm not saying I'm done. Because, I mean, I think we talked about it in that video, which was there are so many cases of refractory and relapsing lymphoma that there are specialist oncologists, and their specialty is refractory and relapsing lymphoma, right? You know there has to be a certain number of cases to have a doctor that only does that thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Because doctors want to have patients coming to them. So if there wasn't a lot of that, there wouldn't be a specialist in it. And so therefore, in my noodle, these are the 3 reasons why I'm not saying to myself and to you that I am done with my treatment, because I just don't know yet. And am I hopeful? Am I believing in my heart that I'm done? You know, am I, what's the word I'm looking for? Am I looking to the positive? Am I assuming? Am I hoping? Am I praying? Am I all those words that I am done? Absolutely. Do I want to do this treatments or any other treatments anymore? No. Do I want any of these cases that I've just described to you to be positive and have to keep this fight ongoing further into this year? No. But I cannot, in good conscience and in this noodle, say I am done and celebrating, because I just don't have all the answers yet. And so that's where we're at. So I just wanted to share that with you in case you thought I was being silly. This is the way my brain works and what I'm thinking. And I just know for me, my number one reason, if I believed in my heart of hearts, you are done, there's no chance that you have cancer anymore, that I would have a difficult time to continue to fight if that was my belief. Not that I wouldn't fight, just that it would be hard for me to reset my brain. And we've talked many times in these discussions about, you know, half the battle is adjusting your brain to doing what you have to do. You know, adjusting your perception so that, you know, you're not upset by having to lay around so much or whatever the thing is. And for me, I know, I've been with this body a long time and this noodle. I know that if I set my brain to saying, you are done, you did it, you kicked it to the curb, girlfriend, that if I didn't kick it to the curb, then I would have a harder time continuing the fight and beating the fight the next time. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but that's where I am. So there you go. So how am I doing today? I'm doing okay. I slept in. I seem to have lower energy today than other days. I think some of that has to just do with how hard I ran my body this week. Just kind of tired out. And as much as I wanted that PICC line out, and as much of a celebration as that was, I think there is some physical trauma associated with it. I mean, it's not invasive by any stretch of the imagination. That's why they send you home in a couple minutes, right? But it is a physical trauma. Most people don't have to deal with yanking something out of their body and then healing that. And so there is some, you know, something there. And so I'm just rolling with it. I've been very gentle, no heavy lifting, all those types of things. I've had a bit of a headache for most of the day. I took an Advil a little while ago, just one. Typically I would take 2 or 3, so I'm just seeing if that'll work. My hydration's been okay. I'm at about 75 right now, and I'll keep drinking. Otherwise, in general, most of my chemo-related symptoms you'll see in the symptoms and statistics have decreased, so can't complain about that. As far as I know, no angel deliveries and no doctor news. Besides, I took off my pressure dressing after 24 hours. Haven't had any issues, no seepage. I think I told you guys the last time we yanked the the PICC line from the hospital in December, I had seepage, like lymphatic seepage, and I haven't had any seepage or anything like that. So double thumbs up there. All right, let's do our to-do list. Obviously, not as impressive as you might expect because I slept most of the day. All right, so my to-do was rest. I hydrated. I tried to reschedule. I started last night after midnight. Actually, I had to start after 1. They said on 4:24, but they're Central Time. So I did one try at like 1 something, and then I went to bed. And then this morning when I got up from my phone in the bed, I checked every few hours. They said you could check every hour or whatever, but there was nothing. So I have been checking periodically throughout the day, but no luck. I've been working on my latest crochet project. I'd say maybe 3/4 done. I'll call it 3/4. So I'm finishing the back panel, and then I just have to side seam 2 side seams, and then I'll be done. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know if I'll finish that tomorrow or how much effort I'm going to put into that. I did find an app. Anecdotally, I did some YouTube reviews and some documented reviews. I think the app I might try, and I still have to do a little more digging, but I'm leaning towards. The app is called Cook List. Here, I'll put it right here. COOKLIST. And it has some really neat functions. It does all the pantry stuff. It also allows you to create grocery lists. If you give it logins for your online shopping, it will send your list. It will turn your list into a grocery list. Like it'll actually do the shopping for you. Fill your shopping cart at the grocery store, a virtual grocery store. It will also take the items that come in. Like if I buy, I don't know, from Walmart as an example, if I buy 100 items, it will take all those items on my receipt and put them into my pantry automatically. I don't have to do any scanning or anything. So all these factors make me really consider this. In addition, it has, 1.5 million recipes. It has the ability to do meal planning. It will take the things that you know are in your pantry and throw up recipes that you can do with the stuff that you have in your house without going grocery shopping. So, you have ground beef and chicken and, whatever in your freezer, and you have this in the pantry and this in the fridge. It'll say, okay, thaw this, and you can make these 25 recipes right with the stuff in your house, or hundreds of recipes, whatever the case is. So that is why I'm leaning towards it. It seems to have a pretty good breadth. It definitely has the pantry capabilities. The only thing I have to do a smidge more research in is the thing that will benefit us particularly is if I can see the pantry and Bill can see the pantry, because he doesn't get to the kitchen as much as you might expect. He's still physically limited. And many days he says, what do we have? And many days, A, it gets on my nerves after a while, and B, he there might be something in the back of the fridge I just totally even forgot. I open the fridge and I just kind of holler out to him what I see. And sometimes things rot in there. I hate to say that. I'm so sorry. That I didn't even know were there. And then we're throwing things away and he's like, you didn't tell me that was there. And I'm like, I didn't see it, So I think that the whole pantry thing, if he could see the pantry list and I can see the pantry list for meal planning and all the other things, big primo, good plan. So that's why I'm leaning towards that app. Just going to check on if there's multiple users or a way to share the lists. And as long as that's a capability, I think that's the one I'm sticking with for now. And we'll try it out and see if it works for our family. Okay, charity miles. I did a smidge. So I didn't mention on my list here, I did load the dishwasher and run it. And I also did some straightening in the kitchen. I did a little teeny bit of straightening in the pantry, not a lot. And recycling in the recycling bin and, garbage in the that kind of stuff. So I forget how much I accumulated, somewhere between half a mile and a mile, not quite a mile. Also, let me show you this, that mile that first I wanted to mention I had bad calendar math yesterday. On January 1st, 1970, I would have been like just under 13 months, because I think I said 18 months. That's not true. I would have been just under 13 months. So bad calendar math. Sorry about that. And then second, oh, goodness gracious. It's horrible, isn't it? Can we blame that on chemo brain? The second thing is, I don't know, I saved this for you guys. They somewhere in their code or their database, they figured out that was a code defect, and it looks like they assigned it to yesterday. So now that mile got reassigned, and it was part of my work for yesterday. So yay, it was recovered! Yay, yay, yay! Exciting news. Wasn't totally lost. That was hard fought mile, I'll tell you that. That was the freezer mile when I was running like a madwoman. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you. All right, so my to-do must-do for tomorrow. I would like to hydrate. Let's see. What does this say? I'm going to still continue to try and move the vaccine time, and I might call the pharmacy to see, they can help me on the phone, because I think it might be a limitation of the app that is not letting me, or the website that's not letting me get it done. If I have the wherewithal, energy, and I feel like it, I might do a manicure. I'm going to finish up my looking into the app for cook list and decide if I want to download it, and maybe then I will do the pantry, start working on the pantry tomorrow. And then the other thing I was considering trying is DIY oat milk. So I'm curious, does anybody drink oat milk, and what do you think? I know there's a lot of hype about Oatly. I think it's really like super hip and everything. So I did get some, I think it was Oatsome was the brand. I used Oatsome cream in my tea. I made like a little latte, chai masala latte here. And I've just been putting a splash in, and I just finished that. And I was thinking maybe I would try to make my own DIY oat milk. Not sure yet, considering it. So I was just wondering, what was your experience? Have you tried oat milk? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Bill and I watched a very interesting video about, I guess, glycemic index on the oat milk versus Coke. And then also, it was very anecdotal. The guy did finger sticks for an hour and a half after he drank oat milk and an hour and a half after he drank Coke. And obviously, the results were quite different. But it was interesting. Bill's like, maybe I should try that. I was like, let's look into it. It's one of those days. Okay, so before we go from here, let's talk charity miles. Nope. All right. Let's keep going, and we'll talk charity miles when I'm done. So my would love to do is continue to crochet and purchase my studio items for my recording studio. Okay, charity miles. We have 19 folks on our team. We have walked moved 2,257 miles. And this is our team name. Team Crush NHL! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Also, there's a link down in the description if you can't get into charity miles or can't figure out how to join the team directly. Thanks everyone for continuing to move. It makes me very happy to see you guys moving so much. It's good for you. All right. So that's all I have, my ta-da and my to-do list for today. So if you're just here for story time, thank you so much for joining, and we will see you tomorrow. Remember, every day is a gift. Live it. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.